friends, I am in downtown Salt Lake City today, and I haven't been downtown in a while. I have been neglecting myself. I love it here. I'm going to be embarking on an iPhone photo walk today, and it's going to be specified, if you will. I'm going to be going after side profile shots. The reasons why are, one, I really enjoy side profile shots, and two, I believe that creativity operates best when you put it in a box. The value of doing this is I will be able to dig deeper into this specific type of shot. So let's go find some people, shall we? One of the interesting challenges about this type of shot is it's a good idea to find an interesting background with some interesting light on said background. I have all of those things here in front of me, including people walking by. However, there are a lot of things in front of the building that I would consider less than interesting, and that is street photography. I got a shot of a fellow on a bike, but he was hiding his face a bit too much. Okay, it's the next day. I was out for about 2 hours yesterday. I had some luck, but I decided I would call it and come out today. When I got home yesterday, I had a bit of a catastrophe though. Hey friends, I hope you're having a good day. I'm sad because my camera had a bad encounter with the ground just a few minutes ago. Just bought this guy, and I was getting out of the car and it was in my coat. I decided I would put it in my coat to protect it in the car from rolling around and getting scratched, and I forgot it was in there and flung my coat. I heard a crash, which was this camera making sweet love to the parking lot, but luckily there's nothing seriously wrong with it. However, when I found it, the camera had turned on, and this guy was halfway up, which when this comes up, it does turn the camera on, and I think this took a lot of the blow. Luckily, I got it to go all the way back down, and it will now pop back up, and it's fine. It's a little wiggly, and when you look through it, it's now jittery, almost like the refresh rate is off or something. But other than that, it's fine, I think. When it comes to build quality, you get what you paid for, and luckily that camera is built well. This camera, I could probably throw off the Grand Canyon. And if I set the timer, I could probably get a good photo on the way down, then grab it, and then I'm good to go. My neighbor has dog milk bones at her door. That could have been a lot worse. Let's take some photos. There's a 50% chance that's a bottle of blood. It is definitely colder than yesterday. One major drawback that you have shooting with an iPhone over something like a DSLR is the battery life. I'm keeping my camera app open for long spans of time in an attempt to not miss shots, which kills my phone very quickly. I actually missed a couple of the shots on video because I was trying to preserve the battery life on this camera as well. I wasn't able to get over to the camera quick enough to turn it back on. Everything moves so quickly out here. A bagel project. The most noble project of them all. It's a very cluttered scene. The light is fantastic, but I'm struggling. So while I had the camera pointing that way, I ran over here and grabbed a shot here. This light is really interesting, and I figured out that I think it's coming off of this building right here. Look at that, like a mini sun. I got in trouble. I wasn't supposed to be here. Hi, back at the apartment now. I want to talk about a couple of photos that I very painstakingly and very particularly cropped. As I mentioned when I was on one particular street corner, the scene that I was working with was very cluttered, and I had an iPhone. I did not have a 150 millimeter lens to work with. Although I could switch to 50 millimeters on the second camera of the iPhone, very helpful. The best thing Apple has done for their iPhone in years. I had to be very dynamic with my shooting, and I did my best to make it work out there. However, there are a couple of photos that I decided would be better if I cropped them quite intensely. What are my thoughts on cropping? I think that cropping is a fine thing to do as a corrective measure when you haven't completely hit the mark with your photo. I don't think there's any reason to suggest otherwise. However, I think that it is a successful strategy to avoid cropping as much as possible. Continually learning how to frame your photo better when you're shooting is about a lot more than just the edges and cropping things off of the edges. It has a lot to do with angle, your perspective on your subject, the environment, everything. Cropping or not cropping is just a facet of that. Here's the first photo that you saw. Overall, it is a very focused and minimalistic image. Not too much going on in the background. There's some cars, but it's fine. It's not too distracting. Here is the original cropping. I think the environment is actually quite interesting in this shot. However, it's a bit like a drum solo in the middle of a song in which you should be, as the drummer, staying in the pocket. This is something you learn as a musician. Your job is to tend to the overall mission of the band and not just your own musical pleasures, if you will. It was an interesting environment, and I'm sure that there were ways that I could have framed it differently to work in more of the environment. However, I made the decision that for the greater good of the photo, I'm going to crop all of that out. It took some rational thought about what are actually the most important aspects of this image. Where should I focus my attention? I thought it made for an overall better photo to focus in on him, cut a lot of that other stuff out, and also put him directly in the center of the frame in a very compositionally, aesthetically pleasing way. This is the next photo, which may have been my favorite photo from the last one that I just showed you guys. That was my favorite. This is probably my second favorite. I don't know, I like this one a lot. Okay, they're both my favorites. I really like the very dramatic stride, almost like his knee is broken. Anyway, here's the original image. When I was out there, I was trying to work with all the elements that were in the photo, and on their own, there were a lot of intriguing elements to the photo. The train, the building in the background with the circle windows, the other guy. However, keeping the other guy in the photo didn't work because he had sort of a strange stride, while this other guy in the front had a very perfect stride. The train was fantastic. I love the train. It's very interesting. However, the guy in the foreground was not separated from the train enough because he's backlit in the way that he is. I thought, I'm not gonna try to make this work if it doesn't want to work. And I think that's an important lesson in photography. You have to decide, and this is a very hard decision, and there's not always a clear answer to this question. You have to decide when to give up on an idea that is fighting you. The whole bottom half of this photo is lovely. You have his silhouetted legs, you have the lit up bit of the ground, and this interesting cracked up road texture, as well as the shadows coming off of him and the shadow in the background as well. I decided this was a direction that I could go with this photo for the greater good. There are endless decisions one can make while cropping a photo or any element of editing a photo at all. When you're editing, I think that it's important to step back a little bit and make a neural notepad. Probably be kind of wet, I bet, and put notes on it of what is working and what is not working with this photo. Why does it not feel right? And also grab it like a freaking grapefruit and squeeze the crap out of it and see if you can make the photo work. This will grow your editing abilities. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it helped you. Please feel free to engage below. I will engage with you. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to. Goodbye.